back.
All right, buddy.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Ooh, slow down. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm trying to stay calm. I really do, but like, oh my God, I don't even know what else to say about this anymore. What do I even do about this? Everybody has to see how unsafe this is. Well, everybody except for the state agency and the school district. You know, because the school district says that between the house and the van or bus is my responsibility. And if it's my responsibility, then OPWDD has to make the moves, okay? OPWDD says, oh, you haven't tried everything. Oh, please tell me what I haven't tried then. Don't make it a guessing game and keep moving the finish line. He's not safe. I'm calm. I'm calm. I'm calm. Everything's fine. Well, this is as good a time as any to talk about what the school district said. We talked about what was happening. I explained in great detail what was going on and the whole thing that prompted this, because remember, this has been going on for years. He's just so big now that it's even more dangerous than it's always been, because he's 150 pounds now and extremely strong. I think I've talked about this, but I'm just going to talk about it as if I've never talked about it, okay? Derek does not like it when I talk to the bus driver. Derek wants all of his entire, like, all of his life to fit in these little neat boxes, just little neat boxes, and he wants to store them on a shelf. And by life, I mean, like, school fits in a box, home fits in a box, transportation fits in a box. School and home cannot mix. I don't understand it. Don't ask me, because I don't get it. This has been going on since he was in preschool. The very first, I remember his birthday very vividly. We went to Ring Around the Spectrum. Hi, Abby. And some of his teachers showed up for his birthday, which was so sweet. I begged a lot of people to go because I don't have a lot of family in the area, and I was trying to make it special for him. My coffee's cold. So when his teachers started to show up and I said hello to them, he would throw like this toddler tantrum. Like, he would hit me on my legs. I mean, he was just a little teeny baby, so it was cute, you know. He would hit me and cry and just be overall angry that they were there with me and that I was talking to them. And from then on, I knew that he did not like it when we mixed. There was the other time, Christmas. I think he was with Maggie Chapa, or she's Maggie Dater now, Van Skyke. And they had this little Christmas concert at school. They're young and they're in a functional classroom, so she knows what she has. So she never asked them to like sit and sing anything. She just had them walk in from a side door with a little bell to Jingle Bells. They come in, they loop around, and then they go back out. I was so excited that I waved to Derek when he saw me. I waved, and when he saw me, he took the bell. It's funny now, but at the time I wanted to die. He took the bell and threw it, and it went up into the rafter. Everybody gasped, like, and then they all laughed, which made everything worse. But, you know, Maggie is such a pro that she got him straightened out. She stood him up and then walked a little bit faster to get out the side door and back to her safe classroom. Ever since those two incidents, I just knew that I could never go to his school. So now this is carried over to his bus driver. I don't know why. I can't speak to him. This is just the way it works for Derek. Back when we started Abilify, he was still with Sheila. We called her Sheila Bus. This is how I knew it was working. I had to talk to her for a minute, and he just walked to the house. I'm like, this is gonna make him really mad, but I have to talk to you. I don't even remember at this point what it was about. But I'm like, I have to talk to you really quick. And I talked to her, and then I talked to her I'm like, I'm just going to keep talking to you for a minute because this isn't like him. He's tolerating it and not mad. And that's so cool. And that's how I knew that the Abilify was going to be the thing that helped him. Back to December, this past Christmas, my mom was here. She came, actually, I believe her and my dad drove my new old car here, Clyde. I bought it in Florida and was going to pay the shipping cost, but my parents are just amazing human beings and decided that they were going to drive it up to me. It was the last day of Derek's school. This bus driver has been solid gold. Like, I don't know how we would get through this without him. I told my mom, I'm like, just be vigilant because this is going to make Derek mad, but I'm just going to run over to the van really quick just to wish them, happy holidays and that I'll see them, in January. She said, okay. And she was watching and Derek got off the bus. I was like, Derek, just 1 minute. I just have to talk to the bus driver for a minute. I walked over to the van. I was about 10 feet from the van and I turned around just to check to make sure he was safe. And he had picked up a metal drum that I keep outside. It's a spoon drum that I sit outside, so when it rains, it sounds like a wind chime. It's really cool, but he picked it up and threw it through this window. It was shocking to everyone because it was shocking to him as well. He was standing right here, and I couldn't even talk to the bus driver. I heard the glass, and I watched it happen in slow motion. So I walked over, and he was like, I'm like, just go inside. And he came in and he tried to hit the TV, and my poor mom is sitting here just, and she knows that she has to be quiet when he's like this, but it's not, you have to imagine their lives are so completely different. They never see this kind of stuff, and they're not around children all the time, so she struggles with that, rightfully so. And then my dad came down to see what happened. I don't know if it was because there were other adults here, and I could allow myself to, but I just broke down. Like, I don't think that I have boohoo sobbed like that. Like, okay, you guys saw the video where I was walking back and crying like that. I was crying even more than that. Like, when you get that hyperventilation when you're like I was like that. Because I think when there aren't other adults here, I know that I have to stay strong when at all possible. Subconsciously, I don't allow myself to feel the feelings. My poor dad just didn't even know how to help me, but he came outside and helped me collect the glass, and we moved the stuff out front because I have like a bird feeder and some other things I needed to get out of the way. This entire time, Derek was upstairs. By that point, I couldn't discipline him or talk to him because it had been too long from the event, and Derek has a very short attention span. If I were to wait 20 minutes after he's done something to talk to him about it or take something away or anything like that, he won't understand what he's being disciplined for. It's just the way his brain works right now. So after that happened, I decided that we were going to go full on requesting residential again, because before that I was just on the fence about it. I'm like, he's only challenging some of the times, he's only unsafe some of the times, like I can handle it. But that was a whole new ball game because I had to get maintenance involved with my apartment complex. I want to be totally transparent with everyone. I don't live in a normal complex. I live in government housing because I was unable to work for so many years because I'm their caretaker, and I knew that in the beginning. That I did try. I lost a lot of jobs because they just need me. Neither of them qualify for typical daycare, and so I stayed home with them, and we live on Social Security, and That's just my life. But I knew that that wouldn't always be enough for me, and I knew that if I couldn't hold a job at the time, that I was going to go back to school, because one day, with a hope and a prayer, one day they were both going to be independent enough that I could hold a full-time job. That was the idea behind going to school, because I could fit classes in where I could possibly do them, and most of them were online. Anyways, back to Derek throwing the drum through the window. I contacted the school. I wrote a long emailed me back, and then actually she called me. It was after Christmas. It was before school started, so I was kind of surprised. And then she introduced herself, asked me to explain what happened, and then said that hopefully we can be a team and move forward in this, and that she would help me in any way that she could. And I felt confident the first time. And I have to stop trusting people. I trust too easily, because man, did that woman let me down. I called an emergency meeting for the committee. The committee, for those of you that don't have kids with special needs or in any kind of special program, the committee is the parent, the chair of the special program, or sometimes the assistant program director, and the teachers, any therapists involved, OT, PT, speech. It's like a whole committee that gets together to talk about what's best for the child. First, we had a pre-meeting. She requested, because she wanted to know what resources I had in place already. They like to tell you that you haven't done everything. I told her how bad transitions were. I told her that we are on the brink of being evicted. I don't have anything written, but I have been told that if there's any other property damage, that they are going to evict us. The chair decided to hire a BCBA, a behavioral analyst. They specialize in behavior, and this woman that they hired she has her doctorate, and she's a professor at Russell Sage. She came out and observed Derek getting on the bus and getting off, and even though she hid around the corner, it didn't matter. He definitely showed her all of his cards. Like, I was afraid she would come out and he would have like a good day, and then she wouldn't be able to see the behavior, but unfortunately, good days are far and few in between. So she saw everything, and she even saw it getting off the bus. Getting on the bus that day, he slammed his head into the side of my neighbor's car, and then into the side of my car. And then he ran over, punched the van door, and slammed his head into the glass of the van door. When he got off the bus, he did more of the same thing. And then I ran over to try and help, and he attacked me, but I just grabbed him and walked him inside, where he continued to smash things, throw things at the TV and my head and everything else until he calmed down. She wrote a 6-page report and sent that to everybody. So the school district saw that, and we went to a meeting. Remember, the district is the one that hired the BCBA to see these behaviors and to see what they could do to support me. In that BCBA's report, she did come up with a plan, but she also said, I came up with a plan. However, that plan is impossible to do. It's not possible. Her plan was basically what it boiled down to. Derek would need 3 people to escort him from the house to the van, and from the van to the house, for about 6 months, because what a BCBA is known for is to shape behaviors. And basically that means that if your child has a difficult behavior or self-harming or something to that effect, something like Derek's doing, they will, it's intense, but they try to change something about it. They try to, like, if they were going to have 3 people escort him, basically they would have 1 on each arm and then 1 in front of him with like an edible reinforcement or something like that to make it a positive experience. So that way, over the 6 months, he will relearn what he's doing, basically, is how I understand it. But that plan's impossible, because who am I going to hire? So hiring 3 people that are trained also to do that, that's impossible. And they said it in the meeting that it was impossible. Well, apparently that report wasn't what the chair wanted to hear. I think that she thought this report would come back showing that I was overreacting and exaggerating, and that it's not that bad. And then they would come up with a plan. But there is no plan. It is that bad and worse. And now she's like, oh, but from the house to the car is not my responsibility. It's the home, which means it's OPWDD. So I'm not going to recommend that he goes to residential. But I'm sorry. The school district hired the BCBA, and they don't do things out of the kindness of their hearts. They guard their resources, meaning their money, tightly. So they didn't just hire someone for no reason. When they hired the BCBA, they took responsibility. It is their responsibility, and she needs to recommend this on his IEP. I even told her that I'm finishing my degree. We're moving out of here. So by the time she recommends it, we get on a wait list. He gets accepted somewhere. Then we'll move. And then not only that, I don't want him there forever. I only want him to go there while he's unsafe. And then hopefully we can get the stem cell therapy, and that'll help him. And then I can bring him home. That was the plan all along. It's only because he's so unsafe and so out of my control that I ever wanted him to go there. And I told her, I'm like, making this decision is the hardest thing any parent could ever do. And you are making me beg for it. And that is cruel and unusual punishment.